Marvel Rivals' ranked system is weird. And no, not because of some shadowy matchmaking conspiracy. No, this is about how the system is actually built, why it was built that way, and why it creates such a culture clash between casual and competitive players. Once you see it from all three angles, casual, competitive, and developer, the whole thing starts to make a lot more sense. Even if it's still frustrating as hell. Oh, and hi, I'm Nerfpool, the Deadpool variant that talks about video games and stuff. And if you're new to these Yap sessions, well, welcome to episode 4. Take a seat, get comfortable, unzip your pants, whatever you need to do. There's not going to be a whole lot of incredible editing in these videos, just like there is in this one. Please watch it. I spent 2 weeks on it. Nobody watched it. Instead, it's just going to be my beautiful voice talking about things that matter to me. So feel free to take your phone, slide it into your back pocket, or slide me onto your second screen as you play some Marvel Rivals. Either way, I don't care. Just finish the video, nerd. All right, back on track. Ranking systems. Let's start with the basics. Marvel Rivals' ranked mode is not a traditional pure ladder like you might know from Counter-Strike, Valorant, or some high-level Overwatch. In those games, climbing is all about your win rate. You win more than you lose, you go up. You lose more than you win, what's that? Who's a good math student? That's right, you go down. Marvel Rivals? Different story. You can climb even with a negative win rate. And I don't mean just barely under 50%. I mean 30%. I mean as little as 25%. If you just keep playing and you keep grinding, you're gonna keep moving up. The reason is that the math is baked to be generous. You will get more points for wins than you lose for losses at most ranks, and there's no really steep punishment for really huge bad losing streaks unless you're right at the very top. It's a inclusivity first system like most things in today's society. The design and the intent here is not to separate the elite from the average and make sure they never mix. It's kind of the opposite. It's just to keep you in motion, to keep you queuing, and to make sure that you feel like you're progressing. Here is where I'm going to sound like I'm defending NetEase. I know. Cardinal sin. Don't chop my head off in the comments. From a game design and business perspective, their logic around the way that the ranked system is built kind of makes sense. Marvel Rivals is free to play. That means that the entire monetization model depends on as many people as possible playing for as long as possible. The moment someone feels stuck or frustrated or hopeless, there's a risk that they stop logging in. And that is one less player in the pool. That is one less potential skin buyer. That's one less reason for your friends to hop on with you. By making the ranked system extremely forgiving, they're essentially lowering the emotional barrier that it takes to just start playing. You can be Spider-Man. You can jump into ranked with your girlfriend, your best friend, your cousin who hasn't played a shooter since 2003, and still climb slowly. And here's another big one. No roll queue. Why? Simplicity and speed. Roll queue can make matchmaking fairer, of course, but it also makes queue times longer and it forces players into structured roles, which are all things that casual players hate. Here's what happened. NetEase, at the start of this project, clearly looked into Marvel IP and said, all right, let's go for mass appeal here. Let's make this fun. Let's make this fast. Let's make it easy for anybody to jump into. And honestly, from that perspective, that's not the dumbest idea in the world. For casual players, this system is a dream. I mean, it was built for them. You get to pop online and live out your Marvel fantasy. You log in as Iron Man. You get to do this a lot. You go and you're Dagger and you do this a whole lot, even though you should be fucking healing me. You zip around as Spider-Man, whatever. Iron Fist, is there? Are there really any Iron Fist fans? Are you guys okay? You just have fun, man. You just log on and you're not sweating about the latest meta. You don't even know what the latest patch notes are because who cares? You don't care about statistical win rates or what the optimal team comp is at this particular time. You're just having fun. Oh, and if you lose, No big deal. The system's just gonna help you at some point. You're either gonna gain more points from the next game that you lost from this one, or if EOMM is real, I do not have the ability to wink in this mask, but right now I am winking. Then the system might just kind of feed you a couple of games to make you feel real dang good, and you keep on playing. So if you lose, you're gonna be fine. And hey, if you don't like it, you can just take a break and quit, leave the game, which seems to be something that a lot of people have been doing this season, so you're all good. That's why for casuals, Marvel Rivals Ranked is a lot less about competition and more about an experience. It's a playground with Marvel skins. Real simple to understand. The ranking system is there to just keep you motivated. It's not there to measure your skill with a microscope. Now, here's where things get really messy. Competitive players came into Marvel Rivals expecting a competitive ladder. Players came from Overwatch, from Valorant, from Apex, different kinds of FPS and hero shooter veterans. Lots of streamers came along with that as well. They all saw Marvel Rivals and they thought, cool, man. It's a bit of a lull right now, so another game to grind, another ladder to climb. Good stuff. But what they got was not that. What they got was a system that was really overtuned for casuals with really no safety net for serious players. There was no role queue at all. There were no separate competitive modes. There was no strict win rate progression. And that creates chaos in matchmaking and it creates chaos in team comps. And we've all been there and we have all felt that. Somehow, especially this season, it seems like a bigger problem than others. And I had recently made a video about my frustration with people not switching. Of course they're not switching. They're casual. They're not there for the same reason I am. That's why you're going to get a Thor who's solo tanking. He's not going to switch because he wants to play Thor because Thor is fun. He makes a lot of cool noises. He's got a hammer that makes froggy noises. It's a good time. He doesn't care that he's a solo tank. He doesn't care that he needs a shield of some sort because he's a solo tank. He's not willing to adapt. He just wants to have fun. He wants to play as Thor. He doesn't want to play as Magneto because Magneto's slow. He's clunky. As far as he's concerned, he's kind of basic. So he's not going to do that. He's not going to go strange because the daggers are kind of hard to hit because it's a projectile. So nah, I'm just going to play Thor, dude. Same thing in supports, right? They'll just play Ultron or Mantis or something that they want to play because they experience the game in a different way. And that's kind of okay, but also really frustrating for competitive players. And that's the main point I'm trying to make. All of this, the fact that team comps can be so crazy, is maddening for a competitive player. Maddening, I say. And here's the kicker. All of it was completely avoidable. NetEase should have known from the get-go, off the rip, that hardcore players were going to try this game. The Marvel IP is huge. It's very attractive. NetEase promoted the hell out of this game before it came out, and there is so much overlap with the hero shooter crowd in general. Ignoring all of that at launch, ignoring your competitive player base, and ignoring the fact that the majority of the content creators that are going to promote your game are also competitive was very, very stupid. And this is where the real culture clash, so to speak, happens. Casuals are looking at ranked and thinking, this is fine. I'm having fun. What's the problem? Why is everybody yelling at me? Competitive players, on the other hand, are looking at ranked and thinking, this is a fucking joke. My rank doesn't mean anything because the system isn't tailoring for skill at all. The sad part is that neither side is inherently wrong. They're just playing for different reasons. Casuals want a fun Marvel experience they can share with their friends, and competitive players want a tightly tuned, skill-based ladder that rewards mastery and punishes mistakes. Unfortunately, Rivals' current design leans way more towards the first group, so the second group, the competitive players, feel completely alienated. Here's where I'll try to do the impossible in a landscape of YouTube right now where rage bait and negativity seems to be the main course. I'm going to try to get everybody to see each other's side, which is something that I feel this community as well as the game really needs to do. So here I go. Casual players. Hi, Jimmy, put down the jelly beans. Just come here. Gotta talk to you about something. Look, understand that competitive players aren't just being salty and negative and toxic. You experience the game for your ways. There's certain things that you find fun. Well, for casual players, a competitive game, win, loss, or draw, doesn't matter, where it's truly competitive and you got outplayed and lost is way more fun than being stomped or stomping. We get value and we get joy and pleasure out of competitive things. And those competitive things may not be fun for you. It might be too stressful and nasty, but that's kind of what we like. And I can speak to both here because I have my casual brain on half the time I play this game, and a lot of times I also have my competitive brain on. So I'm a bit of a hybrid. So you just need to get that. Competitive players. Hello. You can wipe the sweat off your forehead. That's totally fine. And you can put down your Razer mouse Cuck Chair 3000, whatever the hell it is that you have. And that mouse pad that's the size of Texas, you can just ignore that for a second. I just need to talk to you. Mano y mano. Please understand the casual players are not ruining your games on purpose. Well, sometimes. I'm not going to deny that there's some dickwads into this game, but most of the time, it's not malicious. They're just engaging with the game the way that it was designed by NetEase to be engaged with. NetEase built a system that told them that it's okay to play this way. It is not their fault that they grind and like to play the game and naturally rank up through it and end up in a rank where they really don't belong. Your frustration towards that kind of player is not warranted. That energy should go directly at NetEase. It's not their fault that they're worse players than you at the video game. They're just playing the game same as you. We're all gamers here, dude. We're all trying to have fun and experience the game in our own ways. The blame is at NetEase, at the developer, the people that designed it this way, not the players who are just trying to enjoy the game the same as you and I. And from NetEase's side, let's not leave in la la land, man. This is a business, and this was a business decision. They went out there and very smartly went for the widest possible audience out of the gate with an IP that is very pop culture currently. Their hope is, let's go wide at first. Let's just do this big bang release and let's have thousands and thousands of players, and eventually we'll rethink the strategy. Down the line, we can add more modes, we can add more features, we can add role queue at some point, stricter competitive ladder, and hey, maybe that's exactly what they're working on. They said in the latest dev talk that there's going to be a new mode, a new ranked mode. Maybe that's exactly what's happening as we speak. Fingers crossed, that's exactly what's happening right now. They're trying to give competitive players a home without alienating the casual base. So yeah, Marvel Rivals' ranked mode is not broken. It's just not for everyone. Right now, it's a casual first ladder that's wrapped in competitive branding. If you're a casual, great. Lucky you. The whole game is built for you. And if you're competitive, not much here for you, but look, keep the pressure on NetEase to give you the mode that you deserve. And if you're NetEase, hey guys, you built a great game, but maybe next time, don't forget the sweaty kids, huh? But enough of my voice. I'd like to hear your opinion, so drop a comment, why don't you? And always, always remember, children, maximum snarkiness allowed, minimum toxicity preferred.